I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk to folks from the VTuber community about their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. King Grid joins us. Hi.
Hello.
Please,
Nice to meet you.
please introduce yourself for everybody.
I'm King Grid. I'm a Jamaican femboy VTuber, and I started about 2 years ago.
hmm And what do you usually do online?
I like to play a variety of games on Twitch, and I started a TikTok recently that I've been trying to get going,
hmm
but it's on a slow roll.
Does your TikTok have anything directly to do with your Twitch?
Yeah, it's tied to it completely. I usually post clips there, but I've been trying to get into posting more normal TikTok type videos there as well.
Hmm. So, what type of games do you usually play online?
I like to play, hmm, truly is quite the variety. Shooter games, RPGs, things I would find interesting, I guess, or I could talk about easily while
hmm
on stream.
hmm What are you on right now?
Right now, it's definitely Skyrim.
Mm,
Helldivers 2 as well, but Skyrim for sure, because I started a new playthrough recently.
mm. Are there any additions or anything you've added to the game to keep going, or is it right out of the box still the same Skyrim?
Oh no. I added loads of mods. It was really unfortunate. My last playthrough that I was streaming, the save got corrupted because of the mods. But this time I think it'll go nice and long. I'll be able to finish everything.
Well, you do have to worry about that, I guess, with the mods. You do while you're adding stuff to the game, you might also add something that doesn't quite work with something else in the game.
Right.
That,
And
that
I'm new to the modding scene, so it's super difficult to know where the issues are.
I have a hard enough time getting Windows to work. I don't know if I could mod anything.
Yeah.
I,
Honestly, with Windows 11 coming out, like I'm too scared to even touch going to Windows 11.
Oh yeah, I know at my workplace, my money making workplace, we keep having to fend off Windows 11 as much as possible because we have
Uh-huh.
too many, too many programs that could be messed up by that thing. So we're just waiting
Yeah.
for the day when then they say you can't use Windows 10 anymore.
I
And
heard that we would be unable to use Windows 10 coming up in a few years. I hope that was just rumor, though.
no, I hope so too, because they've actually found something that works for the most part, and people don't have to mess with it too much. But that's not the way people work, is it? So
Mm-hmm.
we'll wait in a couple of years. Uh, so you guys started a couple of years ago on VTubing. What brought you into it?
Wow, so I wanted to try streaming in the first place because I play games and I don't like to play games alone.
hmm
It's in my bio as well. I hate playing games alone, so I wanted to start streaming. And I didn't have a webcam, so I was like, darn, what am I gonna do? And VTubing was something I could do without a webcam. And so that's where I started. And then I realized I could use my phone to have the avatar be animated. And that was where I was able to start moving with the avatar. And that also got me into making avatars and all sorts of different sections in VTubing, like avatar creation, streaming, editing. And it was really a fun ride that I wasn't expecting.
So, has anybody else used your avatars?
Oh no, I don't make avatars for others or anything, just for myself. But
Hmm.
it was fun making the couple of them.
So what you're using right now is one that you made yourself.
Yes, I made it on VRoid Studio. I only use 3D avatars.
Mm. Were you an artistic person before you started VTubing?
Um, I would say a little bit. Like I like doing a little bit of drawing or just creative like putting art pieces together, but I'm not really a drawer or anything like that.
Mm.
That was why like getting to do creative things on the avatar and put on my own like stitch to the base model,
hmm
I found really fun.
You mentioned editing too. Is it easy to edit these videos? I've got the very basic stuff I'm doing with this. There's really no video to edit, but has was that easy to learn?
So it's pretty easy to get into editing. I'd say the hardest part for me right now is the subtitles because you have to time them correctly and copy each exact word and the appearance of the subtitles. But I've seen people do like these really cool edits and put in like GIFs and stuff like that and cool sound effects. And I don't really know how they do that. I haven't gotten to that like amazing part of editing. But I didn't know how to put in sound effects and subtitles and small GIFs and pictures. But I gotta see how I can improve on that part too.
Is this all self-taught?
Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't really find anyone to teach me.
Well, well, that's pretty cool. You're able to get up to this level by yourself, and I imagine it's a lot of trial and error. Try this, see if it works. If it doesn't, try something else.
Yep, it indeed was.
Yeah. Well, when I started way back in the Ice Age, when I was doing video editing, all video was on tape, a videotape that was about an
Oh,
inch and a half wide, and the editing for that was ridiculous. I figured out generally how to do that. This is what old television stations used to use. Uh, I imagine it's a lot different now. Is
I would bet.
with a lot of digital things to work with. What type of tools do you use for editing?
I use the Shotcut Studio, and there's also a few free sites that have sound effects like freesound.com and one more that I can't remember off the top of my head.
Well,
But using Shotcut Studio, you can put in downloaded VODs and stuff from I put in downloaded VODs from my channel. And you can also put in the sound effects and put on subtitles and effects of all sorts because it has its own effects page that you can easily put on your video.
mhm.
And so that's what I'm using right now
Are you doing this for yourself, or are you doing this for somebody else?
for myself.
Hmm. Or somebody came up to you and said, "Hey, could you edit my stuff?" Would you do it?
Ooh, I mean, if they only wanted to get put on there and cut up correctly and have subtitles and a couple nice sound effects, then yeah, sure.
Well, so you heard it right here first. If you've got that on your list, we got somebody who's interested in doing it for you. All of this
Yes,
stuff,
so.
uh, all of this stuff seems to be self-taught, and certainly indicates to me someone who's interested in continuing to expand their horizons. Have you got anything else that's on your list you want to try with this medium?
Hmm. Yeah, I've been trying to get into Twitter and more onto YouTube. I just started recently posting my like VODs themselves to YouTube. I didn't like the idea before because I wanted to save my YouTube channel for like YouTube videos, but I think posting the VODs is kind of important to showing people like what you're like normally on stream, so that's why I started. As for Twitter, I think that's where I'll like post my thoughts throughout the day type of thing
Hmm.
to keep people updated and to know more about me.
And there's that, as the word marketing is going to end up coming up in this conversation, unfortunately, because that's what you're doing. Really, you're
Yep,
getting a bigger audience, a bigger potential audience by going to different platforms.
we hope. So far, it hasn't worked, but I'm having fun with it. So,
Yeah, but it takes a little while for people to catch on, but once they do, it's a pretty good pipeline, especially
yep,
with the VODs, because they're not everybody may be able to catch you live on the stream, and then now they could find out what they missed out on.
yeah. I gotta do a better job uploading them though, because they're such large um videos that it takes like 4 hours to download,
Mm.
which is troublesome.
Yeah, it does take a while when you get up to that level of stuff. Luckily, mine's basically a still and some audio. We can get it up there pretty quick. The
That is nice.
Yeah, it is easier, especially for an old man who doesn't have any idea what he's doing for the most part. Um, the also gives you a chance to kind of take out some things that maybe you don't really want on the VOD. I mean, have you had to edit some pieces out?
Yeah. So I haven't edited pieces out of the VOD yet, but I feel if there's like a part that I don't want to be shown on YouTube, then I would go in and edit it out. But as for like long breaks or things like that, I feel like it can just be skipped past. So, uploading it onto Shotcut and then uploading it back onto YouTube and everything is probably more work than it's worth.
Yeah, it probably is for the most part. Just but the option is there in case something
Definitely.
disastrous happens. You can just edit it, and no one knows the wiser, which is why we record interviews. So
Indeed it
so
is.
when the host messes up, he can just edit it out, and nobody knows nobody knows what happened. Um, so what?
No, surely I'm scared of messing up, really.
Oh no, you're doing fine. Have you always wanted to be kind of a performer?
Performer, huh, that's interesting. See, no, I have terrible stage fright. So I when I started streaming, I didn't have any type of acting
Mhm.
to do with the content, but I think I'm gonna have it continue that way where there's very little forced expression on my part,
Mhm.
and it's just mostly me.
And I've heard folks say that a lot of VTubers are actually introverted and don't like being out in front of a stage, and the model, the avatar, allows them to put up enough of a barrier between themselves and the audience to be comfortable. Is that what's happened for you?
Well, at the start, I didn't really have any sort of problem with that. It was really just the fact that I didn't have a camera. But then the more that I thought about it and the longer I was a VTuber, I realized I actually like the concept of VTubing itself
Mhm.
more than just being a normal streamer.
Mhm.
Um, but I would say having the VTuber model there does help portray myself how I want to be portrayed. Because if just having yourself on the camera, people will take you however they want to take you, which I don't exactly want to get into that type of drama.
Yeah. Well, there certainly is going to be drama with it, and
Yep.
you can still get into it now if you really look for it. Hopefully, you don't have to,
Oh yeah.
but
Hopefully not.
it's certainly can be there. You mentioned that you don't like to do gaming by yourself. Have you been doing a lot of collaborations?
No, I'm a little too scared at the moment of getting collabs, but I've been trying. That's
Hmm.
why I'm here doing your interview.
Hmm.
I think you're the first person I have technically collabed with, you can say.
Well, thank you,
So,
thank you for
yeah.
trusting me with that.
No,
Yeah.
thank you for having this interview with me.
Oh no, that's
So,
I'm having fun. I mean, we're just talking with folks here. It's not easy for a lot of these streamers to find a good collaboration partner, and
yeah,
a disastrous collaboration can lead to problems for both channels.
that is true. And I'm just really scared of um portraying myself differently when there's someone else there. Like I don't want to suddenly not be able to be myself because there's someone else
Now I can
who's also streaming with me.
now that's interesting because something I hadn't heard before. Um, where you if you had somebody else there with you, you might actually change your personality in a way where you don't so much interact with the followers as you do with the person you're playing the game with. That could cause a problem,
Hmm.
I would think.
Yeah, not only that, there's also like, could you make the same jokes that you do when you're alone? Will they take it the same way? There's a lot to think about
There,
if I'm with someone else.
there is, and it's good that you've got that in the back of your mind when doing it. Um, I hope that when you are able to take that step, you do find a couple of folks who make it easy for you. And
Thank you.
well, rest assured, you're not alone as far as that goes, because there's a lot of people who are hesitant to take that first step. Um, and there's some folks who get burned right away, but hopefully that won't happen for you. Uh, would you be up for uh, one of these collaboration games where you have like 5, 6 people involved?
Ooh, so those, I have an interesting thought about those. Like, when there's five It's 5, 6 people. There's definitely gonna be like, how am I going to stand out among like all these people? Or are you just gonna be like a background sound? And that's why I think the more people you add, the more chaotic and unruly it's gonna be. So for sure, I wouldn't touch big group content for a while.
There's you see folks play like Lethal Company and such, and if you get I mean, you see the chaos that 8 people in that game can do,
Uh,
and like, well, yeah, it's kind of funny for a while, but what are they getting out of it? And basically they're just hitting each other with stop signs, and it's but if you can get somebody who you can trust to play different games with, that'll be very valuable.
yeah.
Mm,
And with Lethal Company, I think Lethal Company and Among Us are some of the two only games that I know where you could probably pull off big group content with anybody,
mhm.
and it would probably be fine.
Yeah, yeah, and for that, it's there's so much chaos that you don't need to worry about rules.
Yeah, that, and you're not like talking to everybody always. Like you can stay with your shot
Hmm.
throughout a long periods of time because maybe you're in the building alone, or when you're in Among Us, you're alone for a while.
Or if you're in Lethal Company, you get left on the planet while everybody escapes.
Yeah,
By yourself. There's not much you can do about it, but sit there and die. I've had that with many games in the
and
past.
have some laughs.
Yes. Now, now, as far as games that you're looking forward to playing, is there something on the horizon you're looking forward to?
Hmm. I would say, what's that called? V Rising,
Mm.
a top-down RPG game is coming out in about, I think it was a month. And I'm looking forward to that, as well as the Elden Ring DLC. I've been hearing talks about it,
Oh yeah.
but I haven't been keeping up with it. I can't wait for that as well.
V Rising. I've that's it's just I'm totally out of the picture as far as that goes. What's that going to be like? Do you know?
It's a vampire game where you can make your own building and level up your gear, get new gear and abilities and powers by fighting people or trading. And you can call it like a top-down Minecraft, but they're vampires and it's heavily modded.
It's a top-down Minecraft with vampires. That was probably what they
Yeah,
used in the pitch meeting. Now my idea is
I guess
my
so.
idea is I got a Minecraft with vampires and it's going to be top down. Okay, we'll go for
Hmm.
it. But it sounds like it'd be something a lot of people would be interested in,
It
uh,
it is for sure.
and it'll be popular pretty quick. Is that going to be? Do you think it'll be more than one player on that?
Oh no, it's a multiplayer game, but I'm not too sure if I'm gonna play it multiplayer
Hmm.
because there can be toxic people, and it's also, if you've heard of Ark Survival Evolved, a game where like if your base gets destroyed, you lose everything.
Right.
So
Yeah, you don't want to get that happening to you. Someone coming in with a
yeah.
Trojan horse and then knocking you out and walking away from it. As far as your followers go, have you been able to get a good following of people who stick with you every stream?
Yeah, I think I have like 4 average viewers who I'm very glad to have. Without them, I would be pretty darn sad just streaming alone and without like people who I just said
Mhm.
I need to be around to be playing games with.
I think that once you get the YouTube going, along with the other platforms, that's going to ramp up because people will see you on there and go back and forth, and the numbers will climb in both silos. I think that's a good strategy you have.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow. Now, as far as editing and other things that you're doing with this particular format, do you have any goals as far as that's concerned? Anything you want to learn?
Hmm. Yeah, there's a lot to do with the subtitles and screen movement that I'm not into just yet. Of course, I'm also using a free editing source, so I'm not using like, is it Photoshop?
Hmm.
And that's kind of difficult because apps like Photoshop have a lot more features that you can easily use. But I think I can figure out a way to start learning those features now.
Well, I think you got a pretty good setup, and you're going in the right direction. I think it's going to be just a matter of time for you at this point.
Uh-huh.
You know, are you ready to put in some more time?
Oh, definitely. I think I have a good amount of space now where I can just sit down and just work on videos right now. So I can't wait to get back to it.
Now, King Grid, we appreciate you coming on. Wish you all the success here very soon. And I think you got a good path going, and you got a good mindset, and you got a good game plan. I think it's not going to take too long for you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.